Okay, hey guys. So it's Irene again, and we're still trying out this vlog thing. So today was my first full day of actually doing things in London, and what we did today was we were tourists for a little bit. So we got this morning and we went to the London Eye, which, if you don't know what that is, it's like this gigantic Ferris wheel where you're in this little capsule that's made of glass and you can look around and see a lot of the London skyline, and Big Ben and the House of Parliament and Westminster Abbey are across the river from it, so you get a really good view of them. And so I went there with my parents today because my mom loves Ferris wheels. So we went there, and that was great. It went so smoothly. Oh, it felt wonderful. And my mom had a great time. And I got to see the London Eye again and, be a tourist. Anyway, so we went at the morning when it's the dead time, so there was not that many people there, which was wonderful. I didn't have to fight with crowds. Because I don't like a lot of people. I know, funny, I'm in London, tons and tons of people, and I'm not really like being around a lot of people, but it was great. And then we went from there, and we drove on the Tower Bridge, which is gorgeous. I love the Tower Bridge. I got to walk on it 4 years ago when I came here with People to People, so that was a fun time. So we just drove across it, and we got to see the Tower of London. We had tickets to go see it, but we had reservations at this restaurant my mom really wanted to go to, so we're doing the Tower of London tomorrow. We just drove by. And so we went to the restaurant my mom wanted to go to. This is what went weird today. My mom heard on the TV in the States about this treehouse restaurant here in London, and she really wanted to go. So we got online, and apparently there were several treehouse restaurants here in London. And so we picked one that looked, pretty good, right? So we went there. And so what my mom was picturing, what I was kind of picturing too, was this tree with a house in it that was a restaurant, right? Treehouse restaurant. It wasn't that. It was a restaurant with a treehouse theme, and that was really cool. I enjoyed it. The atmosphere was great. The food was fantastic. It was great. It wasn't what we pictured. So now I'm gonna get online and I'm gonna see if I can find one of what my mom pictured. But that one I really enjoyed eating at that one. The people were really nice, and it was this nice little area of London. It looked not like where our hotel is, where there's buildings 7 stories or more high, and people are everywhere, and buses and traffic. No, it's just in this nice little quiet. It looked like a little town. It looked like kind of like a main street in a small town is what it looked like. And, well, it looked like my main street in my small town. But it wasn't. It's just this little area of London. It was a great. But, so now here's my fun story for the day. Besides that restaurant, there was, on the opposite side of the street, there was all these stores. And so we finished eating, and my mom was thinking about getting dessert, but my parents wanted to sit there for a little bit. So I thought, we have some time. Why don't I run across the street and look at the different shops, right? So I go across the street. And, well, what I do is I go down, and then at the crosswalk, I go across the street, because not jaywalking. So I go across, and there's this little boutique. And I'm just looking at it, some cute things are in the window, and I get waved in. People here are really nice, by the way. So I get waved in, and the lady goes, "Oh, what can I do for you?" And I'm like, "Well, I was just looking." She goes, "Okay, well, let's have you look inside where, most of the merch was." Well, she didn't say that, but it was kind of implied, let's look inside. And started talking to her about it, and all the clothes in there were handmade by her. I get in there, and there's this little section of clothes here, a little section of clothes here, and this thing of jewelry and hair accessories And then in the back, behind the little changing things, you can see this table with a sewing machine and fabric and more tables, fabric, and then another thing with clothes that's being worked on, and then the dressing rooms are also back there. Everything there is made by her, designed by her. She makes all of them herself. She's wonderful. She's from Bulgaria, and her name is I pronounced this all day, and now I'm having problems. Nadia? Nadia is her name, and she's so nice. And so we talked for a little bit, and most of her stuff is, pretty affordable for handmade clothes here, guys. And it was just, I talked to her for a very long time. Like, I had 20 minutes to go, just walk down the street, see if anything caught my eye. I'm spending this entire time, plus extra time, in this shop talking to this woman, because I'm sorry, I'm from a small town, and then I went to a college in another small town. I have no clue if there's a boutique like this anywhere near me. There might be one in Ames, but I highly doubt it. I don't even know if there's one in Des Moines. So I've heard about places like that in France, but I've never seen one. And so I was getting a bit of her life story and what she asked me where I was from, and I'm like, I'm from Iowa. And she had no idea where that was, which was a lot of fun. And not fun in the this person didn't know I was. No, in the way of I got to explain to someone who's never heard of Iowa or anywhere in the Midwest what we were like. And she's just this overall lovely person. And we talked for a long time. I ended up buying a band for my hair that has a little blue flower basically on it, which goes with one of my dresses that I brought over here, and I ended up buying a skirt from her as well. Well, by buying, I mean she took my measurements, and she's making it for me, so when I get that, I'll show it to you. And I'm really excited about it, because I help support her business by buying these things from her, because she's in an area of London where I'm not sure many people go in and know what that is. And it's just, for me, from taking the costume design class, from designing costumes for a show, finding this store was just amazing for me. And I fangirled over clothes. I'm not gonna lie. And the typical girl way of fangirling over clothes, the costume design fangirling over clothes. And she has this design for a skirt that is her own personal design. And it's really cool, and it's designed for... I'm a little heavy set, okay? And it's designed to hide the tummy, and it's so pretty. The fabric I picked out is beautiful. I'm so excited. When I get it, will have to show you guys. Anyway, so we finished at that area, and we got back in our car, and we drove back into the more populated part of the city. And we stopped by Store Street again because I was having a little problem with my phone, and so I went into the phone shop. He just looked. He literally just took... This is my phone for here, okay? He literally just took it, looked at it, picked up his phone, called my phone, and my phone was fixed. So apparently I just don't know technology. Or that guy's magic. It's one of the two. Probably both. So we got that done, and then we came back to the hotel, and we went across the street, because I'm on a mission. I have to find a book for one of my friends that she really wants, okay? I'm on a mission, so I'm stopping in a lot of bookstores on this mission, right? There's a bookstore across the street from our hotel, and I'm like, oh, I'll check that out. By the time I went there yesterday, they were closed. So I thought, oh yes, we'll go today during business hours, right? So I go across the street, and I'm looking at it, and it's a bookstore, okay? It has a lot of interesting books in there. And I find the little kids section, because by now you figured out the book's Harry Potter. So I'm looking for the Harry Potter book for my friend. And I know, I know, a lot of you are thinking you can get that in the States. There's a reason she needs one from London, so shush. Now, so I'm in this corner, and I'm looking at all these books, and here are all these books that I've heard of, but I'm noticing that they're not in, like, numerical orders, and then I'm noticing a few spines are kind of like someone's read them, so I'm thinking, oh, this is a used bookstore. Well, I picked up a book that looked brand new. It was really, it had a really interesting looking cover, and it was just, I could hear my mom snoring in the background, so I was like, oh, I'll just, look at this book, see if it's, and I read the back, and I'm like, oh, this book sounds so interesting. I look at the cover, and it's £2. So that's when it clicked in my head, this probably is a used bookstore. And they don't have Harry Potter. So I'm going to have to find a big chain bookstore to find this book. But I will find it, and I will get it, and I will give it to that friend, and it will make her very happy, and I will have succeeded in my mission. You mark my words, because I want this done before I go to school. I will find it. And as soon as I find it, I will have a very happy video for you. But yeah, this is the second bookstore I've stopped in to look for this book. I figured, I'm in London. This is a British author. It's Harry Potter. This should be very easy to find. I've stopped in 2 and neither of them have it. So tomorrow we're gonna go to the Tower of London and we're gonna do some shopping around our hotel. And hopefully I will find a bookstore with it. But anyway, so we're continuing from this story. And so I bought the £2 book because I felt bad. My mom was snoring in the store, and it sounded really interesting. Don't be mad at me, those of my friends that told me, don't spend all your money on books here. It was £2. It's not going to kill me. So I walked out, and I will finish the book I brought with me before I started. Just going to say that. So I woke my mom up, I collected her, and we walked out. Well, she wanted to sit down, but I needed to stop in this little convenience store that was right next door to get some, in the States we call them Band-Aids. Here they call them plasters. So, walked in to get some plasters, and you know that moment where you learn the term, and you know the term, and you've been knowing the term all day, because you have known since 8 a.m. that you need a plaster, because that's what they're called here. And you walk into the store, and you immediately have no idea what it was called. And you can't say, I need a Band-Aid, because they're going to try to give you one of those wraps for like when you twist your ankle, when you twist your wrist or your ankle. And yes, that is very helpful. People will need that. When I say Band-Aid, in the States, people are like, oh yes, here's the adhesive thing, you put it on, your cut stops bleeding, hopefully. So, because the reason I learned this is I went downstairs this morning because we needed one, and walked up to the front desk, and I'm like, do you have a Band-Aid? And they're like, oh yes. And so they go through, and they try to hand me the wrap, and I'm like, no. They're like, here's a bandage. I'm like, the adhesive. They go, oh, you mean a plaster. I'm like, oh, okay, yes. So I've been saying this term to myself since 8 a.m. It is now 5:30 p.m. and I can't remember this term. And so I'm saying, the adhesive plaster. And the guy's like, oh, yes. And he pulls out 2 boxes and shows them to me. 2 different types. I, at this point, am done making decisions. I just bought both types because they were £1 each. So I spent £2 on Band-Aids and £2 on a book. I think I've done good. And so I go out to collect my mom. Well, my mom found a little table with chairs next door. And so I was going to collect her, and we were going to go back across the street to the hotel. When we start hearing, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. I'm like, oh, what have we done? So I sit my mom down, and I notice that the chair is not in front of where I went in to buy the plasters. It's in front of a bakery. he thinks we're customers for this bakery. Well, I'm not going to be the rude person that has commandeered one of your tables, maybe making people think you had customer, and then not going to buy something from you. About that time, my dad walked up, and I'm like, Father, into this bakery we go. So we go in, and we buy 2 muffins, and we sit at a table inside, and we move my mom inside. We sit at this table, and my mom and I split the one muffin, and my dad eats the other one, because my dad wanted that one, and I wanted the other one, so we got 2. And we took bites of Dad's too, so we helped him with his, and he took some bites of ours. So we had our muffins, and then we came back to the hotel. Well, actually, I had my mom. I helped Mom come back to the hotel, but Dad and I need to stop in this laundromat/souvenir shop, which is awesome. The lady there is amazing. Love her so much. I've gone into her shop 3 times now. She is amazing. So we went into her shop because she had scarves outside on sale. And my mom's like, oh, you should get one for your cousin. So I left my dad at that shop while I took my mom back to the hotel. Got my mom sat down. Left my souvenirs I'd already bought with her. I walked back across the street to find my dad sitting inside the shop on a chair, talking to the lady that runs the shop. And so needless to say, we got a really good sale on that stuff, and we've promised to, my dad and I wrote a book a while ago. I know we haven't talked about that on Lit Nerds. That's for another video. We've been saving that video. So we promised to take her back a book tomorrow. So we got a really nice sale on our stuff. And then we came back to the hotel and we had some mock cocktails because I can't drink alcohol. I know I'm legal here in the UK because I'm only 20. Well, in the States, the legal age is 21. Here in the UK, it's 18. I have a medical condition, so I can't drink alcohol. So I'll never drink. But they had a nice mock cocktail thing. And I thought, hey, that'll be a little fun. So my parents and I sat down and we got some mock cocktails. And then the day of doing a lot of fun things, but going at a really semi-fast pace, doing the things. And I know you guys are sitting there going, that's not a lot of things. It was a lot for my parents, okay? And I already said, it's like 5, 6 o'clock. So we sat down, we had the mock cocktails, and then we're like, okay, we're done. We're going to go up to the room for a little bit because we had a fairly, really big lunch and then a muffin on top of it. So we're going to let our stomachs settle for an hour or so and then go downstairs and maybe have dinner. And so I figured I'd spend this time making this vlog for you guys and some other things. So, yes. But that's been my day so far, and it was a really good day. I'm really excited to go to the Tower of London, because that was one of my favorite stops when I came here with People to People, because it's history, and the atmosphere, the history, everything they do for the history. And every once in a while, there's a little live theater performance. So it has history for me and my dad. It has history and the crown jewels for all 3 of us. And then this theater production, that live theater, interactive theater, I'm really excited for. Because last time I was here, it was about that fire that burned down half of London. So I'm curious what this year's is going to be about. So yeah, I'm really excited to go to that. And I'm still alive. And yeah, you people are wonderful. Thank you for letting me ramble at you for 19 minutes. I have a little timer down here letting me know how long I've talked, but it's white. And as you can see, there's white behind me, right at the level of the clock. And so I'm just gonna raise my arm a little so I can see the time. Alright, well, you've been great. I'm sorry I rambled at you. If you have any questions for me about being here in London, if you have anything you want to know, any sites you think I should see, if you have any questions on the sites I have seen or stuff I've done, leave a comment when this video gets posted. I will see it, hopefully, and I will make a video response. If you like these videos, let me know. If you're finding them not that entertaining, let me know. I'm always up for comments. Again, you guys are wonderful. Thank you for watching this. Love you. And still alive. I hope everything is great where you are. I'll see you later. Bye.